Welcome to Ramen Applied. My name is Zach, and I am a sous chef at a ramen restaurant. My goal is to teach you how to make some fun bowls of ramen at home. Figured the best place to start is with the toppings. Today I'm going to show you how to make ramen eggs, aka ajitama, aka flavor orbs. That sounds fun? Let's go to my crappy apartment and learn how to make these eggs. These are our ingredients today. We got mirin, usakuchi shoyu, and some sake. In this series, I will use these a lot, so I would recommend buying them in bulk if they are available to you. The first step in making ajitama is making the marinade. To keep things simple, the marinade is equal parts shoyu, sake, and mirin. In today's video, I'm doing 1 cup of each. To dive a little deeper on these ingredients, usakuchi shoyu is a lighter colored soy sauce, but it is more salty. If you like normal shoyu, feel free to use it, but it'll be less salty. You might prefer that, to be honest. To make it gluten-free, you can substitute tamari instead. When it comes to sake, you should use a cooking sake if it's available. For me, it wasn't, so I just used the cheapest bottle of sake I could find at the grocery store, and it works just fine. I would recommend to use a filtered version of sake instead of the unfiltered though. Okay, so we're gonna add our marinade to a pot and we're gonna cook it on high. We're gonna bring it to a boil to cook off that sake and bring all the flavors together. I'm gonna turn it off once it comes to a boil. Next, transfer this into a container that you can cool. With a batch this small, you can chill it in your fridge easily. If you're doing a much bigger batch, I would cool it in an ice bath before putting it in the fridge. While our marinade cools, let's prepare our eggs. I'm gonna keep the show going and use the same pot. Less dishes on the end is the goal of every home cook. We are gonna be adding enough water to the pot to be able to cover our eggs. With our water ready to go, let's turn the heat on high and bring this water to a boil. We'll be adding a little vinegar to the pot, and this helps the egg whites solidify faster. These are our lovely eggs. Today I'm using a sewing needle to poke holes in the eggs. Not the easiest tool to do this with, but I chose this tool because it might be something you have on hand. They sell cute pokers on Amazon, and you can use a thumbtack if you really need to. I'm just showing that no matter what, you can probably find something in your house to poke the eggs with. Poking eggs does a few things. They say it allows the water to enter in, and it helps set the egg whites faster. It's also said that by releasing the air pocket that is naturally in eggs, helps them not to stick to the shell. I guess this guy didn't like getting poked. Next, we are going to place our eggs in our boiling water. We're also going to stir them and set an alarm for 6 minutes 25 seconds. Something to keep in mind when boiling eggs, when they're exposed directly to heat, like the bottom of the pan for example, it can unevenly heat the eggs and fuse the whites to the shell. In most ramen shops, they have eggs submerged in water, but not in direct contact with the heat source. They're either doing this in a noodle machine or in a hotel tray with perforated pans, something like that. In our example, we're just going to stir the eggs to keep it from having that constant contact on one edge to hopefully prevent that from happening. While your eggs are boiling, get an ice bath ready so when that alarm goes off, you can start shocking these eggs. You want to cool them down as soon as possible so that way you have complete control over your end product. These really are all about the timing and the things that you can do to track your timing and do things as fast as possible, the better the outcome for these eggs. After these guys have chilled off for a little bit, I'm just gonna go ahead and pre-crack all these eggs. It's one of the things that I've been taught to do in my training, and it really does help make all the eggs peel a lot easier. Now that they're all kind of cracked, we're gonna grab our container and start peeling. I'm pretty particular about this, and I was taught certain ways to do this. So on the poles of the egg, that is the right way. In the center of the egg is the wrong place to start picking. And when you're picking at the eggshell, you don't want to pick like I was just doing. You kind of want to push with the side of your thumb. As it gently glides across, the egg will kind of push forward rather than dig down. You don't want your egg to have lots of like little pick marks at it, because that's just going to be a real ugly egg. Now sure, it'll be cut in half when you're putting it in your bowl, but if somebody gets a whole egg, which I love to do when I go out to ramen restaurants, you'll see all the little finger marks and it's not the best look. So use the side of your thumb, push it forward, and try not to dig into the egg whites. Now I've finally finished peeling all the eggs and I got my marinade all ready. When you have enough marinade for the eggs, they will start to float and you can't really ever cover them. So what do? Grab a paper towel. Just gonna fold it up and I'm gonna set it on top of these eggs. The marinade is gonna soak up on there. It's gonna form this nice roof for these eggs so where the marinade can really soak the top of them where it normally could not. And that's ramen eggs. Go ahead, keep the rest of this marinade because we're gonna be using it in future recipes. A lot of ramen recipes use this kind of blend of ingredients, so very useful.
Ramen applied. Ramen applied.
Now, let's actually apply what we learned today and make a quick little meal. I'm gonna be making some rice with some furikake and these eggs. The great thing about learning how to make ramen toppings is they can top anything else, whether it be rice, noodles, you name it. They can go in sandwiches and it's a great time. So here we are rinsing the rice, and what we're looking for at the end is that our water level is just the tip part of our finger from the top to that first segment line. If it is, we're good. So with rice cookers, you want to wipe off the sides and bottom of your pot before hitting start. Some of them work in a way that they sense the heat of the pot itself and it will shut off when it reaches a certain amount. If there's water there, it'll get heated before the pot itself and it'll shut off early, so you want to avoid that. We're gonna be fluffing our rice, and that's basically it. We got our meal. So we're just gonna start plating, get that in the bowl, get our furikake going, and then realize that our little furikake salt bay was out of the camera, so we go back. And we get our little miso set up, get our eggs, little cutting board. These eggs only marinated for about an hour from the initial cook. They get only better over time. So I would recommend eating them honestly after 2 days. They will be less runny like these ones, and they'll be more jammy like the ones we saw at the beginning of the video. The whites of the egg will also be very different. You might as well use the soy sauce as a seasoning. It's sweet and salty, and it's just a really delicious condiment. Add some green onions. And of course, where I work, we always garnish our eggs with a little togarashi, but I don't have any, so we're using cayenne.
Excellence. Deliciousness. Power. Ramen.